Slideshows have been with us for about 150 years in some form or another, so you'd figure we could get it right by now.
What do we know about our trucks? They're huge. There's one. Gotta have one of these trucks. No question.
But instead of disappearing, slideshows have become more and more common as technology has advanced. By the 1950s, the overhead projector, the predecessor of the modern projector, had spread across the United States. Now, universities everywhere use lecture halls with movie theater-sized screens to project their slides. In many ways, the proliferation of PowerPoint reflects the rapid expansion of higher education in the US, as universities make class sizes bigger and try to keep labor costs down. Today's classroom is an example of modernity taken to an extreme. It's rigidly structured, organized in rows, with all eyes on the screen. There's one objective source of information, the professor and the slides he or she created. The very layout of the class is not conducive to class discussion, and thus encourages passivity. As a result, there are two possibilities for reception. Either the hypodermic theory, which says that students fully absorb the material, or a lesser degree of absorption, if the students are distracted or tune the material out. PowerPoint is a great tool for learning, if it's used properly. Multimedia effects are more effective than an ordinary lecture at exciting students about material. Greater interest in the material leads to greater information retention. However, too many multimedia effects could be off-putting or distracting. Some researchers believe people have one of two learning styles: audio-based learning or visual-based learning. PowerPoint uses dual encoding, combining audio and visual media, helping both groups learn. Now let's look at some empirical evidence. In this study, researchers divided a group of elementary students into two classes, one taught by traditional lecture, the other with the help of slides. At the end of the course, they tested both groups, and found the group taught with PowerPoint performed better on the exam. However, since the study was run on Iranian elementary students, it might not apply to higher education in the United States. Great! It seems like PowerPoint uses dual encoding to help us learn faster. But wait. If an instructor just reads straight off the slide, any benefits of dual encoding are wiped out. Why? The redundancy effect. When we read and hear the same thing at the same time, we run the risk of overloading working memory capacity, resulting in poor learning. Now, let's turn to another comparative study. Researchers divided students into two groups, one that received only an auditory presentation, and then another that received redundant audio and text. They found that the group that received redundant audio and text actually performed worse than the original group, which just had an auditory presentation. Researchers explained this by saying that redundant encoding reduces effectiveness of learning. Actually, combining the two is just an unnecessary drain on intellectual resources. In other words, don't just read off your slides. A Pitt professor echoes these scientific judgments. He says, PowerPoint simplifies information, disengages students, and a dark room can make a classroom sleepy. However, he notes that PowerPoint has some positives, because often video and images are indispensable to understanding. For example, an exemplar of an acting technique, or a diagram of a living cell, are valuable images to assist in learning. However, just utilizing text is tempting for the speaker to fall back onto reading the slides, and beyond that, it's just boring. How does this professor survive without PowerPoint? He takes the class out of the classroom to do activities, like acting, to make the students more comfortable and more engaged with the material. What about other academic subjects? Math and chemistry professors could engage their students by working along with them, doing exercises. When professors want to have classroom discussion, they can reorganize the desks to form small groups, or a big circle. Possibilities beyond PowerPoint exist, but it's so ubiquitous that few go beyond it.